Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Carrie and this is Booked for Romance. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I am so excited. I am going to be kicking into a new segment. This is going to be a segment called Books Worth Talking About. Usually I'll probably do this once a month or once every other month. And pretty much it's just going to be going through my reads for those 2 months and talking about books that I either feel passionate about or they had brought out all the feels and I just really wanted to discuss them. Now, before we kick into it, because I know I want to talk about quite a few on this list, I want to mention, if you like any of this content, please like and subscribe and show me some love, guys. I never know if I'm doing a good job, so that is the only indication that you like what I'm doing. So anyway, this little segment would be in like correspondence with, like, it would relate to like a wrap up. So this would kind of be like a wrap up, but not, because I'm only going to be discussing books that I'm actually passionate about. Normally in a month, I read about 22 books in a month, which is pretty decent for BookTube. So with that being said, I feel like a few of these I'm going to kick into. I am going to give like really quick like analysis to them. Or, I mean, there's a lot that I'm not even going to mention. So if you also want to follow me on Goodreads, you can do that. Well, I'll put the link down below. Okay, so let's start with the beginning of the month. I want to give an honorable mention to Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Wisecup. I'm going to put it right here. I did a reading vlog on this and I collabed with my good friend Chrissy from Chrissy Reads a Lot. If you want to know about this book, please go watch my reading vlog. I'm not going to really discuss it, but I wanted to give it like an honorable mention. It did get a 4.5 stars for me. I thought it was really well executed. It did leave you at a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited. I think book 2 comes out within a couple months. And I'm really excited to see what happens with this one. It is definitely worth checking out, but go watch my reading vlog. It's got spoilers and non-spoilery things about it, so if you really want to know about that one. Next one we're going to kick into is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. Now this one, guys, was really good. I really enjoyed this one. Let's just say this one is definitely a slow burn and there's not a lot of romance in it. So I'm going to premise that first. It's going to build up to something. And I already know this, but pretty much the premise is we have our main heroine and she is a healer. So she's been taking care of her mother and her sister. Her brother ended up going off to war, but he has like abandoned his post and has come home and it's like, okay, guys, we need to leave. The enemy camp is like right at my heels. Like, we've got to go. So they end up packing up and leaving. Unfortunately for her, she ended up leaving her mother's meds in the cabin, so she had to race back to get them, and she runs into our enemy warriors and they end up kidnapping her and taking her to their kingdom. So she's kind of like a prisoner of war, and she pretty much negotiates with them like, hey, because at first when they saw her, they wanted to kill her, and she's like, no, I'm a healer, I can help you. It was really good. I really did enjoy this one. I just am expecting a lot from book 2 and I hope it delivers. Next we have Vicious Bonds by Shanora Williams. This one was recommended to me by my good friend Caitlin, the Love Librarian. I really love this one. Again, this one hangs off a cliffhanger. Like, you are cliffhanging off this one. But it starts off with our sassy heroine, Willow, and she literally drops in from nowhere. Like, she ends up in this forest and she just kind of drops into this world. She was getting glimpses in her like present day life, and then she just went to sleep one day and just dropped into the world, and she kind of like bulldozes into our hero. And the hero reminds me a lot of Kaz Bleeker from Six of Crows. There is guns in this alternate universe, but it still has magic to it. It's very much like gangster type feel to it, where they all are kind of like, each territory is kind of run by a council, but like you kind of are like the police of your own territory, of all these different territories. And Willow knows that she needs to get home. She needs to get away from Kaz. But unfortunately, something is connecting them. It is so good, you guys. It was just so good. I hope I explained that really well, just because of how good this one is. It's definitely worth the checkout. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I loved there's twists, there's turns. I mean, any sort of feisty heroine, because I am so feisty, I'm here for it. I mean, she's got a lot of guts. I mean, she's coming in from like a present day world, and she's getting thrown into like violent situations, and she's trying to navigate this. And it's just, I feel like I would be acting a lot of the same way Willow did. But yeah, it's really good. And I think it's something that like, you should definitely check out. I also read Song in Sky and Sacrifice by Lana. I'm sorry if I said her last name incorrectly. I will someday find out how to say her exact last name correctly. But I love Lana so much. This is book, I think, 1 of the Elf series, but 7 overall. So like, I would definitely suggest not reading this one until you go back and start with the Season of the Wolf trilogy. Also, I wanted to mention, because I'm talking about book 7, book 1, this is being featured by the Ravished by Romance Book Club book pick of the month. This is run by Jessica from Peace Love Books and Lacey from Lacey with Book Lovers. They had invited me on for March 25th on Jessica's channel, and Jessica Peace Love Books. I will put all the information in the comments down below. But if you guys want to join us, read book 1, because then that will be a time to start kicking into this series. So yeah, we are going to talk about book 1 in the end of March. I love all of Lana's work, and I just appreciate her so much. Then I ended up reading Guild by Raven Kennedy. You guys, these books, I read the whole series. I think I finished the series in 3 days, 4 books. Okay, I'm putting this in after the fact. This recommendation came to me from Jess from Honest Fiction. She is just literally so obsessed with the Gilded series, and I saw her love for it, and I had to check it out. So this is me forgetting to mention that, because I do that sometimes. I just forget, but I want to put it in here because it was a great rec. So thank you, Jess. Honestly, it's a retelling of King Midas and the Golden Touch retelling. It was so good. Trigger warnings for so many things. Trigger warnings for Stockholm Syndrome. I think there is sexual assault. I'm trying to remember exactly what the triggers are, just to let you know. So we have our main heroine, who is the king's precious. She is the favorite of the court. And in order for her to survive, she has stayed behind a gilded cage. Something really special about our heroine is she's completely gold. So she's completely gold, and she has always been a favorite of the king, and she's very mysterious. I don't want to tell you too much about her, but this one had me for a ride. I'm on book 4. It definitely left at a cliffhanger for book 4. It was just so good, compelling. It was one of those ones where just buckle up. Just buckle up, because this is going to take you for a ride. But yeah, it definitely had elements of the whole King Midas touch. You definitely got to see a lot of things happening, a lot of plot lines intermixing. It was really good. It's something definitely I would recommend checking into. Book 1 for me was 4 stars, and I did really appreciate it. I loved the whole series. Whole series is a solid 4.5 stars for sure. Then I kicked into River of Shadows by Karina Halley. I was recommended this one by Lacey from Lacey with Book Lovers. This one was unexpected. That's what I'm going to say about this one. This one's really unexpected. You have our main heroine, and she is headed to her father's funeral. Like, she is going there to her father's funeral. And the second she gets there, all of a sudden she's being attacked. Like literally right off the bat, she's getting attacked and she doesn't know why. She's starting to find out like what her dad told her he did is not actually who he was. And now she's trying to navigate everything in this whole new world of what she thought was the real world to actually what's happening behind the scenes of like the magic that's coming up into her world. So she's going on her journey, and it's hard to tell you how much to tell you guys without giving too much away, but she runs into somebody who kind of like heads her in that direction. We're going to just say that. But it was really good. I am impressed with how Korea and Hallie wrote this one. I'm excited about book 3. I'll see how that, I've already read book 2, knows what happened with book 2. So I'm going on to book 3 and I'm really excited. This one actually seems legit. I really did like it. I rated for the first book 4 stars, but definitely worth checking out. I had read other things by Korea and Hallie. I do like some of her contemporary. So there was one paranormal I read by her and I didn't love that one. So this one was a nice surprise. Then I read Burn For Me by Andrews. You guys, this series was amazing. Okay, so the first 3 books are about one couple and the second 3 books about another couple. Let's just say I read them all. They were so good. This was also recommended to me by Lacey, but from Lacey with Book Lovers. I loved this one. Okay, you guys, we have our heroine and she is a detective and she's trying to save her family's detective agency. And she kind of gets pigeonholed into this like job. Nobody wants to take it because she has to go and track down this psycho. So she has to go track down this psycho. But unfortunately for her, her path runs into the same path as our main hero, and his name is Mad Rogan. And honestly, nobody gets away from Mad Rogan without some, we're going to say some collateral damage. So her path runs in with our main hero, and it just, honestly, the fireworks, it just was so good. I really did enjoy this one. It definitely gave me all the feels. I really did enjoy the series. I'm hoping she writes she keeps going with the series. I haven't heard much. I know me and Lacey are waiting for an announcement. We don't know if it's coming or not, but we're hoping it does, because a continuation with the series would be really smart, just because there is one character we want written about. We're going to just say that. But yes, it's worth checking out. It just was a really good fantasy world she put together. It was very easy to follow and I really did enjoy it. Then I read A Deal with the Elfin King by Elise Kova. Okay, just to let you know, I thought this one was super cute. It was super well done. I really did enjoy this one. We have our main heroine, and every 100 years, I think, the Elfin King comes down and claims his bride. And what this bride is supposed to represent is that she's supposed to help the Elfin King on his side of the territory, because their territory is kind of like chopped in half with like, I want to say this black mist or something. It's like the void in Shadow and Bones, where it's like this big void, and like only the Elfin King can navigate through this. But so he always needs to claim a bride every 100 years to keep and help his kingdom survive. So he comes down, but unfortunately for her little area, or her little region, they haven't produced a bride because no one has been showing magical powers for over 100. It was like 101 years. No one has been showing powers. So the Elfin King came down and is gonna claim his bride. So literally, I'm gonna leave you at that because I feel like if I say too much, I'm gonna ruin the good parts. But I thought this was really cute. I rated it a 4.5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was a really cute fantasy romance. I didn't have such luck with book 2, and then I didn't even give book 3 a try. I might come back to it again and see if book 3 is just as cute as book 1. When it comes to Elise Kova, I really loved her Air Awakening series. I am that generation. So since I love that so much, I wanted to give this one a go. So yeah. And then the last one, which this is why I did this video. This is why I did this video. If you've made it this far, you are in for a treat. Okay, let me tell you. All right, this one. Thief of Dreams by Beck McMasters. And because there's always a book, well, this is the novella, but you have to read this one first. You cannot skip this novella. This is why she put it as book 1 on Goodreads, but technically it's a novella. But she doesn't want you to skip it. So that's why she claimed it as book 1. It took me a minute to figure out why she did that. But when people say novella, it's like, oh, can you skip this? No, you cannot skip this one. But then technically book 1 is Thief of Souls, which is right here. You guys, this series, okay, envision Bridge Kingdom meets Sarah J. Maas vibes. Put those together and you have these first 2 books. So flippin' good. So good. You have our main heroine. She is a thief. She is someone who she goes and steals the impossible. Okay, we're going to say that. She is bound to her father, who is the king of race. Unfortunately for her, her father has sliced off half of her soul and has it around his neck. She is indentured to him for the rest of her life. So he's like, guess what? I need a task from you. I need you to go steal the dragon's heart for me. I need you to go into this impossible kingdom that no one can get into, mind you, because the Court of Dreams has not opened their kingdom in thousands of years. I need you to go steal this heart for me. She's like, how can I get in this? How can I get in this kingdom? Well, I guess the Court of Dreams has put out little missives to all the land saying like he's looking for a bride. So he put out missives kind of like, this reminds me a little of The Selection a little bit with Kara Cass, but put out a missive for all the brides to come. She was not invited, of course, but we're just going to leave you at that. We're going to leave you at that, and that's that. I love this one so flippin' much, you guys. I loved it. The second read ends at a cliffhanger. I want to say book 2, but technically it's book 3. Comes out in May. It is so good. I wanted to leave you with something that is amazing that, you know what? Go read this. Go read this. Out of all the recommendations I put up here, there is like 4. I'm like, you need to go read. But like over those, I'm like, you need to read this one. You need to read it, put it in your TBR, put it anywhere you can find it. But please read this one. It is amazing. I think you guys will love it. And yeah, wow. Okay. That is my books I care to talk about this segment. I hope you guys enjoyed it, honestly, because these are the ones that I was like, because I've been reading a lot of fantasy romance for the past month and a half. Hopefully I kick into some historicals and contemporaries pretty soon, but I've just been on such a fantasy romance kick. But yeah, I honestly am just so excited for you guys to check some of these out. Please put in the comments if you ever read any of these or if there's any recommendations for fantasy romance I should check out, because I am a fantasy romance girl through and through and I just love it. As long as there's a little romance in there, I'm here for it. So anyways, thanks for stopping by and I hope you guys all have an amazing day. And until next time, we'll talk soon, guys. Bye.